And you guys already know Tory Lanez. Do you guys think Tory Lanez actually saw Megan Thee Stallion? Well, anyways, the LA detective in Tory Lanez case ended up being fired over domestic violence. And isn't that kind of ironic? Because the whole situation with Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion is for domestic violence. So kind of ironic how the universe kind of works like that. But I don't even know. Let me kind of go into my detective bag right here. Kind of read the article. The lead detective of Los Angeles Police Department and prosecution who interviewed Megan Thee Stallion, witness, was relieved of duty due to a domestic violence allegation. The state no longer plans to call him to stand in the Megan shooting case, but Tory Lanez's team will, under the authority, be brought to the investigation. So, wow. Isn't that super ironic? Because realistically, I don't think Tory Lanez actually shot Megan Thee Stallion. What I think actually happened is I think Megan Thee Stallion and her best friend were both fighting inside of the car. I think Tory Lanez was trying to break it up. And I think the two best friends, Megan Thee Stallion and their friend, I think Megan Thee Stallion was beating the fuck out of her best friend, whatever. Because if you guys didn't already know, they were both hooking up with Tory Lanez at the same time. So they're kind of fighting over Tory Lanez. And Tory Lanez was trying to break up the fight. And I think the girl was getting beat the fuck up by Megan Thee Stallion. So she pulled out a gun. Tory Lanez intervened, tried to grab the gun in between it, and then shots went firing off. I think Megan Thee Stallion's lying about a lot of it. But we'll see how this case kind of pans out. You know what I mean? We'll really see. We'll really see how this case pans out. But honestly, Tory Lanez makes some fire music. Not really my cup of tea. Like some of his slower kind of island, island vibes are pretty fire. Some of his rap stuff is pretty good. But realistically, Tory Lanez isn't normally in my playlist that often. I'm not gonna lie. He makes fire music. More than Megan Thee Stallion. Like for me, like I'm a dude. I don't really listen to like girl music like that. It's not really for me. It's really not for me. And you know what I mean? Tory Lanez is, in my opinion, maybe one of the most talented rappers in the game. He can sing. He can rap really well. He can do trap. He can just be very versatile. And I think the only problem about Tory Lanez is he doesn't have his own. I mean, he kind of does have his own sound. Like the 80s album is kind of like The Weeknd. I remember one of his projects being super similar to Kendrick Lamar. So he's talented. He just doesn't really have his own sound. I mean, he kind of does. It's kind of like a Toronto, like heavy reverb, but like he doesn't have fully his own sound. You know what I mean? Somebody said Tory done unleash God's wrath on him. Man, I feel bad for Tory Lanez because Tory Lanez can't tweet about any of the situation, the Megan Thee Stallion situation. And if Tory Lanez does, he's just not allowed. Like I heard he's just literally not allowed or ruin the case or something like that. Because I remember he was tweeting, and then Megan Thee Stallion pretty much, what do you call it, charges where you can't be in contact with someone like that. Like I don't know. It just sounds like it's kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? Like if Megan Thee Stallion ends up being actually the one that lied, I think her career should go down the toilet. Like fuck Megan Thee Stallion if that's the case. But then again, I don't really know what happened. I made my prediction. I think the two girls were fighting over Tory Lanez. The chick beat the fuck out of Megan Thee Stallion. Tory Lanez was trying to break it up, and I think the gun went off. Because you guys really think Tory Lanez would fucking shoot Megan Thee Stallion? I don't know if you guys watch Fresh and Fit or anything, but I was watching Fed like Myron kind of breaking down the case, and there's no way in hell Tory Lanez actually saw Megan Thee Stallion. There's no way. No way. Somebody commented, City Boys up once again. Let's go.